Self-Care Awakening presentation. And, you guys mentioned a couple things, and people think being healthy is really tough to do when, from a standpoint, it's probably pretty much what we're taught, and we're only taught two things, which is pretty much diet and exercise, and that's involves lifestyle changes. But the Self Care Awakening program was designed a couple years ago, really to give people some simple tools so they could be healthy by choice. And what we really are talking about here is what started at a motto, but pretty much has become a battle cry: be healthy by choice, not by chance. Because if we leave our health to chance, chances aren't very good we're going to be healthy. It's like spinning a wheel of fortune and hoping you're going to land on that healthy pie. And those chances aren't very good. 50% of us have chronic diseases, 25% have two or more. And by the time we're 65, 80% of us have one or multiple chronic diseases. And we spend 86% of our healthcare dollar on pharmaceutical drugs and intervention to treat and manage what pretty much the CDC and the World Health Organization say are preventable diseases. So self-care is really just a process of becoming aware of and then making choices for a healthier life. And, today, this is a global problem, but we seem to lead the pack. The U.S. leads the world in chronic disease and pharmaceutical consumption, but they're increasing everywhere around the globe. So why is this? And research has pretty much pointed to four main things. And what we're talking about here is we live in a toxic world, and we all carry a body burden of environmental toxins, and that affects our health. We don't drink enough water. We drink everything just about but water, and we walk around dehydrated. We have weight issues that are fueled by excess sugar consumption, and what we're going to focus on tonight is insufficient sleep or sleep problems. And I basically just call it sleep matters. So this is an issue that we all can pay attention to, and it's one that we should. And Mary kind of alluded to this, that we don't think sleep's that important, but it's extremely important for us physiologically. So the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention called insufficient sleep a public health epidemic. And that's basically because most of us aren't getting enough sleep. The average adult sleeps less than 7 hours per night. And this may sound like a good formula, but in reality, it's pretty much a recipe for chronic sleep deprivation. Poor sleep causes, now get this, fatigue, obviously, and that's, you're going to be tired, heart disease. Because you're tired, you're going to be consuming more food, weight gain, which can lead to diabetes. It can cause some emotional problems, anxiety, stroke, and the list can just go on. And this is just a partial list of what's the chronic issues that derive from not having enough sleep. So what's the problem here? First of all, it's our mindset. We think of sleep as an unproductive part of our day. And many times we even wear this kind of like a badge of honor. I mean, how many times have you heard people say, well, wow, I got so much done yesterday and I only sleep 4 or 5 hours a night. And they, and they actually think they're doing something good there because they're being so productive. But from a physiological standpoint, sleep is probably our most productive part of our day. Here's a quote by William C. Dement. He's the father of sleep medicine. And what he says is healthy sleep has been proven to be the single most important determinant in predicting longevity, more important than diet, exercise, or heredity. Here's another quote by Sanjay Gupta that hosted a CNN documentary on sleep, which you can probably find online, and it's very, very good. What he says, if you have an extra hour during the day to exercise, you would be well advised to use that hour for sleep, as it will provide more health benefits. So the normal sleep cycle consists of 5 stages, and we need 5 complete cycles are required for a good night's sleep. Now, each cycle, going from stage 1 through stage 5 of REM sleep, takes anywhere from 90 to 110 minutes. So if you were a very efficient sleeper, you'd still need at least 7.5 hours of sleep per night to complete all 5 cycles 5 times. Now, the issue is that a lot of times we just don't allow that. People, I often tell people, and I've blogged and written about it, treat sleep as you would any other activity. Schedule it. Schedule your sleep time. And that's one good tip I could give to everybody. So what wakes us up, other than just our perception that this isn't a productive time of the day? The other problem is certain things wake us up at night. So we can't relax. We can't turn that computer off in our skull. We can't calm down. We're thinking about everything that's going on in life. People have discomfort. They hurt. And it's very difficult to sleep when you're hurting. We have temperature fluctuations where they're too hot or too cold. We feel too heavy in one spot and we toss and turn. Many people have breathing issues, which the main culprit is usually weight gain, being overweight, which again is a condition caused by poor sleep. So, and sometimes our head's too hot. We sleep a little better with our head a little bit cooler than the rest of our body. And sometimes the head's too hot and we wake up and look for a cool spot on a pillow. So what happens here is that as we're progressing through this cycle, if any one of these conditions arise, let's say we are too cold, so we start pulling covers up, or we're too hot and we start checking them off. What happens is wherever we are in that cycle, we've interrupted that, illustrated by this X. What happens is we have to go back to stage one to proceed through there again. So you can see how we can have interrupted sleep and end up with poor quality sleep. So how about a good night's sleep, a sound, deep, restful, rejuvenating sleep? And this isn't something that's new. I mean, in 500 BC, Sophocles wrote about sleep, saying it's the only medicine that gives ease. So our choice, and I personally advocate for this product. I think it's the cornerstone of our wellness home. It's one of the most important things we can do for our health, and basically is what we call adaptive sleep technology from Niken. It is self-regulating temperature. It's a natural sleep environment, and it's awesome. If there's one thing that I've appreciated with my 20 years with Niken, is that they use science and technology to replicate nature, and they do it very efficiently and very well. So if we look at the sleep system and the Nature sleep system, we have magnetic technology, the natural energy of the earth. We have good orthopedic support for all body types. There's massage nodules in there. We have reflective temperature regulation, so you stay in even temperature, so you're neither too hot nor too cold. Is a fraction of the cost of what I've heard people pay for other mattresses, premium mattresses. And they're environmentally responsible and renewable materials that they're made out of, and environmentally safe. In other words, there's no outgassing. So very, very, there's a lot of technology here, but pretty much all you have to do is sleep on it, and it'll do what it's supposed to do, which is give you a better night's sleep. So if we look at those problems of why we wake up, now pay attention to this part, because what the technology does is helps alleviate some of those problems. We have triphase technologies with the magnetics, the reflective fibers, to help calm us down, to help calm our mind down so we can get relaxed, so we can start to go to sleep. That also helps with any discomfort we may have. The Kinko Comforter has this temperature regulating ceramics that feed back to your body to keep you at an even temperature so that you're neither too hot nor too cold. Now, the other thing I usually like to add with this as a physiologist is our body does one thing our entire life that costs us the most energy. And I'll give you a chance to answer it for yourself. One thing we do every day, 24 hours a day, and we expend more energy doing it than anything else in our life. And that's keeping our bodies at 98.6 degrees, all right? Thermoregulation. If I have a product there that's helping me do that, is it going to help my body save energy? And where's it going to take that energy? It's going to take that energy to repair itself, because that's what it wants to do. So that's just a little physiological sideline that I think is really cool. And we have other products with this technology in too that helps that way too. So we have massage nodules, so we aren't tossing and turning as much. For people that have breathing issues, The pillow sometimes helps with some neck support, so their air passages are open, they can breathe better. And the pillow naturally cools our head as well as does our pillowcase, so we aren't searching for a cool spot and waking up and interrupting those stages of the sleep cycle. So this is really pretty simple of how it works, but very cool the way Niken has used technology and science to provide a really natural sleep environment. So here's the sleep pack, and we sell it as a pack. It contains all these different components in it. The comforter, the Nature Rest topper in any size that you may want. We have the Nature Rest pillow and the pillowcases, and this is very, very affordable. I mean, I have friends that prior to me talking to them about their sleep issues that have invested, oh, I had one friend invest $25,000 on different sleep mattresses or sleep products in a space of maybe 18 months or 2 years. And he said his initial response to me was, Gary, I'm not spending another dime on a mattress. but he's still not being able to sleep is a big motivator. And he ended up getting a sleep system, and he sleeps like a baby. So other sleep products, and I put these in here because these are the ones Heather and I take with us when we're on the road. We take the Kenko sleep mask. It's great for plane flights if you want to sleep on the plane. And we take a pillowcase with us to use in the hotel. And then we have a sleeping bag called a Cocoon that also has the sleep technologies of the sleep system that we can use in the hotels. So we can take a portable sleep system with us when we're on the road. And we do travel quite a bit, so we love to take these products with us. So a couple years ago, Niken called me up, and they said, Gary, for whatever reason, a lot of sleep systems run through your consultant number. Now, would you mind sharing with other consultants why that is? And I said, sure, I'd be happy. So I wrote an article for them, and this is the front page of the article that was published a number of years ago. But here's what it was about. Is basically I would ask people these 8 questions before using a sleep system or purchasing a sleep system. In other words, when I first wake up, my muscles feel stiff and sore. And before using the system, if they're always stiff and sore, they'd give a response of 10. I'd let them use the system, or they'd sleep on the system anywhere from 4 to 7 days, and then I'd repeat this questionnaire with them. Now the results, and this is on nearly 200 people. I think the current count's about 194 people I've done this with. And here's the way the results come out. Nearly a 45% improvement in sleep quality in less than a week. Now that's huge. And this is out of their own mouths of what they're telling me what they feel like. So let's consider this for a moment. These are, if I show you these symptoms, people are going to say, well, it's this chronic issue, that chronic issue, whatever it might be. But it is also the result of poor sleep quality. And they can be improved or prevented with good sleep. So we also want to pay attention to environmental toxicity, dehydration, and excess sugar consumption. And those are the things we advocate within the Self-Care Awakening. And these are the problems. And the solution is the Niken Wellness Home. And I put the sleep pack right there in the center because, like I said before, I consider it to be the foundation of the Niken Wellness Home. And the coolest thing is that any home can be a wellness home, and everybody can be healthy by choice. So if you want a little bit more information other than what we talked about in this call or in this short video, visit selfcarehub.com. I have a number of articles I've written on each of those subjects, including sleep, and help us share that information so we can make every home a wellness home.